Hi, everybody. Leo Babauta from Zen Habits here. I'm happy to be here today with you. In this video, we're going to talk about comparison to what we think we should be. Comparison to others, comparison to um, like how we think we should be doing in life in this particular area of our lives. And so we're going to look at comparison and how it is really eroding our trust in ourselves, our joy, our ability to show up and take on hard things, our ability to like celebrate and make and encourage our progress, really a lot in our lives. And it's this kind of hidden thing that we do, and it's called comparison. So, this is not a new topic for most people, but I think we don't understand how like hidden this is, how it kind of operates in the background and it's happening all the time. And the way that I understand it, not only because I have been working with myself, but I do coaching calls with other people. So I get on calls, regular calls every 2 weeks, an hour long, where we go and we talk through what they're facing, how are they doing with their goals and their intentions, the structure they set up for themselves, and how are they showing up for that, and what is getting in the way. And because of that, the thing that I hear week after week with these people, these amazing people, is that there is a idea that they are falling short of where they think they should be. I'm going to give a couple of examples. I'm not going to name any names or give any details, but just talk through a couple of like typical examples in my coaching clients so you can understand how this is working for them, and then take a look at how it's working for you, because I guarantee this is having a huge effect on your life. I've worked with a lot of people, helping them change their habits, hit their goals, transform their entire lives. By the way, if you're interested in coaching with me, coaching.zenhabits.net, book a call with me. Let's just talk and let's see if there's a good fit. And if you need to like work with the finances on that with me, like we can talk about it. But come and talk. Let me support you in what you're doing in your life, taking leadership in your life, creating what you want to create in your life. So, let me talk through a couple of examples with my clients. These are not specific people that I'm talking about, but like uh, typical cases, because I can't violate privacy. Let's just say that there is client A, and they are having a hard time really like getting themselves to work on certain things, certain projects that they really want to do. They've been wanting to do for years, but they've been avoiding it. There's something about these projects that are really hard for them. They do fine in other areas of their lives, but for these two projects, they have a hard time showing up at all. And so, to get themselves to do 10 minutes of work on it, they might have to psych themselves up, and really like it might take hours to get themselves into the headspace where they're like, okay, I can do 10 minutes. And so they've been working with that. It's really difficult, but they've been working with it. And the other day, they did 2 hours of work on these projects. 2 hours, and really move the projects forward. Like, this is an amazing accomplishment. So I'm like, wow, great job. And they're like, yeah, but other people can work for like 8 hours. And I'm like, huh, interesting, because you weren't even doing 10 minutes like in the last week. But a couple of days ago, you did 2 hours on this. That's actually a big shift. And this is not the only, 2 hours was a big chunk for them. They've been doing other chunks in the last week as well. And so they've been making a lot of progress towards where they want to go. But they, in that moment, were really struggling with it. So, yeah, 2 hours, and it felt short. It felt like they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing. So it's here's where they were, here's where they are now, and here's where they think they should be. And they're like, look at the gap. I am not doing good at all. I feel like a disappointment. Like I'm not really getting there. Or if they, let's imagine that they did do, up here, right? Whatever they think they should be doing. They get there and they're like, well, finally, I know now I'm doing it today, but yesterday, and for years I haven't been here. And so it's like, well, that's just one time, right? Or like, finally, at last, I'm not being crappy, right? And what you'll notice about this is that they actually are doing pretty well. They like going from like struggling to do 10 minutes to doing 2 hours is a huge jump. And it is also huge progress in the right direction. Progress goes like this when we like really encourage it. But when they are on that upward curve and they're like, I should be up there already, and they're not, they feel discouraged even though they're making huge progress. Why is that? Why are we discouraged even though we're making progress? And I actually believe that this is a little bit of an exaggeration of what all of us are going through. We might be making progress and we're just like, it sucks because I missed yesterday and I didn't do it. And it's like, well, yeah, but you did a week, straight before that. What about that part? No, but yesterday I sucked. And so we're constantly comparing ourselves to where we think we should be. I'm going to give you one more example so you can see. Well, in that case, that client was comparing themselves to where they think other people are. And first of all, no one is, most people are not doing 8 hours straight of focused work. You're comparing your 2 hours of really good focused work to someone's 8 hours of really good focused work. That's in your own imagination. That's not actually the reality. If you talk to most people, I know there's always exceptions, but most people are struggling to stay focused and are all over the place. Maybe they're doing distractions. Maybe they're just procrastinating. So they're not doing the 8 hours that you think that they are. But they are comparing themselves to what they think other people are doing and then feeling like they're falling short because that's where they think they should be. Okay, so let's take another example. So another client, a typical another client, client B, they were um, they have this part of themselves that just like really forces them to do things and like they don't really enjoy it and they don't love it, and so they're like, okay, I'm going to try and make this into something that I enjoy. And for a week they were showing up for the project and feeling joy and purpose and meaning, and they're like, I'm actually showing up every day and it's joyful. And then the next week they're like, oh, but I'm not making the progress that I thought I should be making. And so now I'm showing up for it every day in the second week, but it's not joyful. It's like, oh, you suck. Why aren't you like hitting these targets? You're not where you need to be. And so they start like berating themselves, which is their kind of typical inner habit. But why do they start berating themselves? Because they've been showing up for this project when in the past they weren't showing up at all or very irregularly. They were showing up regularly, they were having joy, and they're like, I'm doing great, but oh crap, I'm not over there where I need to be. So they had this idea that they should have progressed this far, and they had only progressed this far, but actually that was a huge amount of progress. So what we notice in these two examples is we're comparing ourselves where we are to where we think we should be, and that makes us feel less confident in ourselves. We feel fear, anxiety, we judge ourselves, we berate ourselves, we try and push ourselves to do harder, or we feel discouraged. And long term, what this does to any kind of habit change, to any kind of purposeful endeavor, is that we are struggling. We struggle to keep going. We get discouraged. We feel bad about ourselves. So why do we do that? Well, it's because we feel shaky about where we are. There's uncertainty. And so we start to create these measurements of where we think we should be. Now, we don't realize we're doing that. We just have this idea in our heads. I should be this great. I should have six-pack abs and running marathons and lifting heavy weights and, you know, have a lot of money and traveling, everything that I see on Instagram. Like, I think I should be all of that, right? And we don't know we're doing that, but when we compare the reality of our health and fitness or our money or the epicness of our lives, we're always going to be falling short of this ideal of where we think we should be. And that is going to cause us to feel discouraged, frustrated, disappointed, hopeless, pointless, like wanting to give up. And so we do it because we feel shaky and we create this image in our head of where we should be. Now, I'm going to propose an alternative way of doing it, which is um, first of all, let go of that idea. If you notice yourself setting these benchmarks, okay, I'm going to be here by this date. I'm going to be, this is what my life is going to be. This is how I'm going to look. This is how everything is going to be. These numbers by this time. Numbers by a certain time are fine, as a kind of like, ladder to climb. It's like, okay, let me try and climb this thing. But we start to lock into them as like, okay, this is how I need to be, right? And that's the problem, is the attachment to the hitting a certain end point by a certain time. We don't know how long it's going to take to progress. We're all in a process of making progress, but we don't know how long it's going to take. And so I want to encourage you to think, okay, I don't know how this is going to be. I'm going to trust in my process. I'm going to trust that it's going to take how long it takes. And the only thing that I can control is what I put into it. If I put my best into this day after day, something is going to move. And yeah, I'm going to miss some days. And some days I'm just not going to have the energy. But for the most part, I'm just going to keep putting in my best, show up, do my best that I have that day, and be proud of that. Celebrate it. Really acknowledge myself and feel trust that that's going to get me to where I'm going to, where it's going to get me to where it's going to get me, right? I don't know where that's going to be. And it's going to get me there in whatever time it takes. So we don't know how long it takes. Now, I'm going to give you an example in chess, which I've been studying most of this year. In chess, there's a number that they give you, which is your ELO, your rating. It's not, ELO is an outdated rating system, so it's your rating number, right? So they give you a number. So I'm like 400, right? And it's like, oh, okay, but I want to be 2,000. Well, why'd you pick that number, right? It sounds good. It seems strong. So you kind of figure out, where do I need to be to like feel like I'm doing really good? And then you're like, okay, I'm going to hit 2,000 in 2 years, right? Well, when you're at 400, you have no idea how long it takes to get to 2,000. You have no idea how fast you're going to be able to progress. No one knows. I don't care if you're, the greatest chess player in the world, Magnus Carlsen or Stockfish. You can't know how long someone is going to take to get to any point in the rating graph. And so we set this point. I need to be at 2,000 in 2 years. That's arbitrary. It's totally made up. It's a fantasy. And it's totally meaningless. We just kind of like pick this number and by a certain time, and it's like, okay, I need to make this progress. So by the end of this year, I'm going to hit 1,500, and then I'm going to do the last 500 in the next year. Okay, great. Do you actually hit those numbers in those times? Probably not. It's totally made up. You don't know how long it's going to take or what it's going to take, how much work you're going to be able to put in, how much work it would take if you were able to put in that work. It's just impossible to know. And so every chess player sets these numbers, these goals, and this, like, I need to hit this by a certain date. And it's a fantasy. It's useless. It's discouraging. We get attached to the number. The number is not even important. Who cares what the number is? It's just meant to help you to match up to someone, get a game against someone who is like of similar strength to you. It's not any judgment on you as a person. It doesn't make chess more fun. It's nothing. Now, I use the numbers to kind of like gauge, like, am I making some progress here? Great. But I don't know how long it's going to take me. So I don't actually set numbers. I just put in the work. I show up, I play, I have fun, I like learn, I try and get curious, I try and deepen my understanding. Those are the things that I can actually do. I can't make the number go up at a certain rate. No one can do that. And the number is going up, which is great, but that's not really the main thing. The main thing is me actually playing and learning and getting better. That's the main thing. And so I'm really focused on that. So that's in chess, but I really encourage you to do that in whatever you're trying to do. It doesn't have to be a learning thing. It could be, fitness, it could be money, it could be your business, it could be, um, anything you're trying to do. Just put in the work, show up, have fun, like make it an incredible experience, and then see what happens. The result is not under your control. So show up, do the work, and then let go of attachment to the outcome. That's my encouragement to you. Let go of your fantasy of where you think you should be. Let go of the comparison habit, that trap, and then just put in your best. That's all you can do. Okay, my friends, I'm gonna say goodbye. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps other people to discover it. Leave a comment. Let me know what was helpful. If you have any questions, I would really love to hear them. Subscribe if you'd like to get more videos like this, and share it with others who could use some Zen habits in their lives. Thanks, my friends. Talk to you later.